HemantaNP is our alternate runner today. He's one of our alternates because remember Jed couldn't make it, so we had to reach out to our alternates. And so what we can see here, just kidding, Jed, it wasn't just you, there was others. So what we can see here are some fun facts about these guys. GreatNate08 used Fusion360 for 7 years, but is still in high school.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, wow. And also built his own 3D printer, electric go-kart, and robotic arms. So that's going to be tough to beat. If this guy has already built things, built robotics, I'm not sure if HemantaNP is gonna be able to compete. Let's take a look at his fun facts. Let's see, started using SolidWorks during my 3rd semester of engineering in 2019. Oh, built my first robot in semester of 2019. Okay, so he's a robotics builder too. Oh,
this is why we put these guys together.
It's perfect. It's all random, man. It's all based on the formulas, and has used SolidWorks, AutoCAD, Fusion360, Onshape, Adobe Premiere Pro, Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator. What do you think about these fun facts and these two runners?
I just want to say that however niche it is, having Photoshop and Illustrator skills as an engineer comes in really clutch every once in a while. Like there's one guy at my company that can do renderings, but he's often got his hands super full, and being able to do photorealistic renderings and like put materials on them in Photoshop, or sometimes you just need to like tweak one little bit. It's like so important.
You got to know it all. The more you know, the better. All right, guys, I think we've done enough talking, enough build up. Let's go. Let's get into this first 3D CAD battle, CAD versus CAD battle. You ready, Aaron C?
Yeah, this ain't about us. This is about CAD. Let's see some CAD.
Here we go. GreatNate versus HemantaNP, United States versus Nepal, Fusion360 versus SolidWorks. This first CAD battle begins in 3, 2, 1, go! What is the mass of this part in XXXX grams? It has a tolerance of plus or minus 3 grams. This part is called mount. It is in millimeters, and it is made from plain carbon steel with a density of 7,800 kilograms per cubic meter. Both of our runners have already grabbed the screen capture, so let's flip over so we can see how they get started. GreatNate on the left running Fusion360. Looks like he decided to start on the top plane. Started out by kind of sketching that triangular shape. I think that's a pretty solid way to get started.
Yeah, you know, this part, it doesn't look like it has any real tricks to it, to be honest, though maybe I'm not seeing something. But these parts always kill me because it's just like, it's a lot of features, and there's always someone who's really good at just pounding out features, and they're usually running some program that I'm not, and I have no chance of catching them.
Maybe running SketchUp.
Yeah, or Space Claim.
Hell yeah. Yo, nice. Juiced, right? Little callback there.
That was crazy the first time. Who was that guy in the tournament this year who was doing SolidWorks super fast?
Yeah, it was QWERTY CA. We'll definitely talk about him a little bit.
Okay, well, let's focus on these guys.
Okay, so it looks like HemantaNP on the right from Nepal started out by creating the base with kind of the thickness of the base. I think I like that too. I like both these approaches. But GreatNate on the left, our #1 seed, really cruising through this thing. Already has his first solid feature. Just about to have his second solid feature. Now let's see what he does with this second solid feature. Looks like an extrusion in 2 directions. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, now Hemanta, I'm not sure if he's restarting here or if he's just going to define that with 2 features or 2 sketches. You can do that. You do like a top view and then do extrude up to vertex and then click one of the vertices in your original sketch.
It was interesting to see GreatNate there. It looked like he had that original sleeve, and then was able to really quickly move from that into those 3 counter bores on the corner. So that was a pretty fast move. I'm not sure exactly how he was able to do that, if he had like pre-cooked some points in there, or maybe he just pre-selected them while he was rotating the view, but he's already got that. It's like he's moving so fast, I'm not even seeing him make some of these features. Like I didn't even see him create that fillet up top.
I know. This is actually more interesting to watch when people are slower because it's a lot easier to commentate.
Well, we can maybe watch the replay in half speed, and then we could make sure that we keep up with that.
I think what he probably did is he clicked the center point of those arcs. So if you know that those counterbores are going to be, what's the word, co-radial, with the not co-radial, concentric with those outer parts, you can just tap that inside part. And I think on some softwares you can even just click the outer part of the circle, and it'll automatically snap to the
smart. That's smart. He's able to do that quick. Now, you were talking about, whether or not this model has any tricky features. I think GreatNate is now running into the one feature that maybe is going to be a little bit tricky. We'll see how he handles it. Looks like he's got some type of a hole library that he's able to use to get that that hole on the back there. But you can see that hole is not just a straight through hole. It's got some taper to it, we'll say. So,
yeah, I noticed that after I made my comment, but just defining some of the faces in there and where they start and end might be a little tricky.
Yeah. And I see someone in the chat is asking, well, actually, I'm going to go back and remind me to go back and read that comment after we get done here. I don't want to get distracted from the action. So there we see GreatNate was able to get in there. Looks like maybe he's going to try and do this with some kind of a chamfer. Is that what he's using there? Very interesting.
Bold strategy, Cotton.
Yeah. Yeah, bold strategy indeed.
We'll see if the tolerance allows it.
Yeah. Yeah, we can see the way that feature. If for those of you that are watching this on the DVR, you can go back. You can just kind of roll back. You can look at the print. Or this is another good spot where you want to take a screen capture when that print first shows up. You want to grab a screen capture too, and that way you'll be able to watch. I see Victor K in the chat says, got it now. That's a cool way to flex if you're watching and you're modeling it yourself and you want to flex a little bit. You could say, hey, I got it, but you definitely do not want to post the answer.
Yeah. Now, Hemanta is doing, I guess, what we've called the layout approach in the past. So I never really did this until I started competing for speed. And, generally, it's maybe not the best practice when you're doing real engineering parts. It works. It's not bad. But generally, you kind of want to go feature by feature. So in 5 years, your coworker can open up the part and actually know what the heck is going on with it. But in SpeedCAD, it's really nice to just put a lot of features all on the same plane. I even like to do revolves and bosses on the same sketch, and then you can just use a contour selection and just click through and make multiple features from one sketch.
Well, it's funny you say that because I actually went through a very similar evolution where when I first started hosting these tournaments, I was really not that into the whole like multiple features in one sketch. But then as I saw more and more users doing it, I not only adopted it, but I really learned a lot from watching them about those strategies. And it's like you said, even adding in, revolved features and boss features in the same sketch, the advantage is that then you can relate those features to one another very easily in that same sketch. And so that part of it has really made it easier to create complicated designs where multiple features are all related to one another.
Yeah, it's kind of like a top-down approach. It's really easy to go back and edit your geometry if it's all in one sketch, but it kind of locks you into that geometry. If you go back later and you say, oh, I want this square base to be a triangle instead, that's probably going to break every feature that you built after that. But if the core geometry is all pretty solid and it's not going to change, you're probably a lot safer doing something like that. So it really depends on the part, as with every technique.
Yeah, Victor K is commenting on this as well. He says, I tend to do the opposite. Layout sketches help me get a good design intent between features, and in speed modeling, I do simple features quickly. So that's interesting. Okay, and we got GreatNate coming into the chat with an answer, and his answer is 2,533 grams, and that is correct.
Yeah,
so,
good job,
congratulations to
Hemanta's right behind him, just missing a couple of goals. Yeah.
Well done. Congratulations. Wow. Very, very speedy. A great way to get that first challenge started, to get going on that first challenge, that first matchup. Really cool to see Fusion360 and see SolidWorks competing against one another. And wow. GG. Guys, put a GG in the chat for Nate. That was an awesome kickoff for this tournament. Well done. That is 1 point for Nate, but it's not over yet. It's not enough to just win 1 point. You got to win 2 points to get through these battles in this tournament.